Guys, welcome back. This is Palioxis here, and today I just wanted to go over some basic Photoshop skills. So to begin, I just want to say that there's about 5 different subcategories of Photoshop skills that you need to know in order to understand what you're doing. So to begin, the first thing that we need to do is we actually need to get over in Photoshop, and so to begin, we'll just go up to File. You can either open your project from before or open as. You can look it up, see if you have any Photoshop things. But for now, we're not going to worry about any of this other stuff. So like export, any of that crap, we don't really need it. But anyways, so we're going to start and we're going to just select a new canvas, and so there's a lot of settings that you can do here. You might get a little confused. You're wondering why big numbers, why resolution, what the hell is that? Don't worry about it. I'll explain it to you. So if you actually go back to your desktop and you right click and you go down to screen resolution, you see all this stuff and you can actually see the resolution of what your screen is right now. So it's interesting, because when you look at what's in Photoshop, you'll see that this is your resolution and it ties into this 1920 by 1080, 1920 by 1080. So basically what that's saying is we're going to make the canvas size, so whatever photo we're going to put in here and edit, it's going to be the same resolution as your screen. However, that's when this comes in handy, and it actually makes your image more clear. So this is saying that your image will be this big and it'll show up to look this big, but this is what makes it clear and visible. So as a general rule, I do about 300 for the resolution, and I keep 1920 by 1080 if you're just doing something else. Some things will be specific, so if you're looking up a YouTube banner template, so let's say you want to create a YouTube banner and you want it a certain way, so there's actually the pixel size is 2560 by 1500 or 440. So essentially what that means is that's how big the photo has to be in order for it to look good on YouTube. Because if you look on YouTube, there'll be different browsers. So there'll be your mobile, there'll be YouTube for Windows or for Mac or whatever you have. And there's also the TV. So it has to be all those same sizes. So that's why it's so big. But we're not going to be talking much about that anyways today. We're just going to be focusing on Photoshop. So it doesn't really matter what size you choose for your canvas. You can name it whatever you want. It's traditional for me. Anyways, you press OK, and then you'll pop up with this white area. So you might ask yourself, what is this white area? Well, this white area is actually where all of everything happens in Photoshop, pretty much. So to go over basic controls, you can actually move stuff. Well, you can't now, but you can move stuff with this tool. This tool is used for selecting stuff. This is for also selecting stuff more specifically. And you can also click and hold these things and it'll give you different tools, but pretty much all the tools have simple things that they do. This one will select a certain area of like color or space. This will crop your image, perspective to slice. This will just seek out a color. So let's say I just picked gray, and now I can color this the same color, whatever. This is your brush tool. You can also do pencil. The difference between this is because it makes it more like fluid and clear. However, your pencil tool is very pixely. It's good for Minecraft if you do stuff like that. Stickers, I think. No, stamp tool, your eraser, which also can be magic erase, all that stuff. It gets very into detail, so you don't really need to worry about what's after, like what other tools there are, except for the gradient. The gradient's pretty cool. There's paint, gradient, water or blur, yeah, dodge. See, I don't know like all the tools, just because there's so many. I don't use some very often, so like for example, I didn't know what the water droplet was because I don't use it that often, but it's the blur, so it has a pretty, I don't know, it just works anyways. So there's the pen tool, the text tool, so like for writing stuff. There's the path selection tool. There's a rectangular tool for making rectangulars. I don't know why I said rectangular, it's a rectangle. But my favorite tool out of all of these is definitely the pen tool, because you can do lots of cool stuff with it. But that's not really for beginners. It's something you have to work on. It's easy to know, but kind of weird. You have to kind of figure it out your own way. So that's basically setting up your canvas ready, and a little bit of the layout. There's some more things that you can go over. I can go over here. So when you begin a canvas, it's always going to be locked. So that means that you can't really make things transparent, which means you can't see through things. So in order to unlock it, you need to select over here, unlock, or click the locky thingy, and then from there you can actually go and get rid of whatever color to make it transparent or see-through. So that's essentially what this black square thing does. So again, you can move your thing with the move tool. You can select certain things and get rid of them. So with Photoshop, there's different things called layers, and that basically means that you can have things on top of each other. Let's say you have your first layer, and then you have your second layer, and then you have your third layer, and fourth layer, and fifth layer. Let's say you want it to be red. All you have to do is just get rid of these red, and then whoever's watching from up here can see the red. So that's kind of visually what it is. Yeah, that's what the layers do. In order to use it, you go up to layer, new layer, and now let's say you want this one to be green. You go to your paint tool, be it green, and then let's say you want the white one with all that stuff on it again. You just there's little things over here called the eye drop. I don't know. I'm just gonna call them the eyes. But if you unselect it, it'll be the one that is under it. And then let's say you move this one up here, and you unhide it. Then if you hide this one, then it's green. So that's basically how the layers work. It's kind of neat because you can do different things. So let's say I have a picture of this. I take our magic tool and I only want these. So let's say we'll select this. I only want these 3 layers to show up on my green. All I'd have to do is copy it, and then from there, ta-da, only those 3 showed up on top because I copied and pasted it and got rid of the rest of whatever's in here. So that's some basic things. Now there's some of the controls, like shortcuts to make things easier, which is awesome because if you know me, I love shortcuts, and I won't use a program if it doesn't have at least a couple of shortcuts. So first things first, I'm the realist. No, I'm not. Anyways, if you select something and let's say you want to copy it, the shortcut for that is just Control C, like pretty much any other program. And then once you get rid of it, and let's say you add another layer and you want whatever you copied to be on this layer, all you have to do, Control V, bam, it's right there. So Control V is paste and Control C is copy. Now similarly, you can do the same, I think. No, you can't. Oh yes, you can. Okay, so similarly, you can just press Control X and it'll get rid of whatever, but I don't know if that's what you want. So some different things. There's different shortcuts that do different things. Pretty much copy and paste is the most common of any shortcuts. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know for now. I guess saving is pretty common. So if you press Control S, it'll save, and at first it'll show you where you want it. So let's say I want it on my desktop, just save it there. Okay, it's done. But let's say you wanted to save it as a different name. All you have to do is Control Alt S, save it as a different name. So you don't have to change it. You don't have to have it to be that. You can just change it to whatever you want and it'll save it to whatever you want. Anyways, so let's say you wanted to work on multiple things. So all you have to do is just add another project. And then ta-da, you can switch back and forth, or you can have them side by side to compare, different things. You can resize. And now moving on, I just wanted to talk about importing photos. So let's say you got this really cool photo that you found online and you want to import it into here. So let's say, wow, we found a really cool image. Now we want it in there. All you have to do is you can either click and drag it and move it here in Windows. I don't know, this is how I normally do it, but let's say you copy or you save the image as, and then you go up to your desktop and you save it, blah blah blah, whatever. Basically you just saved it. Now you take it and you drag it and drop it right in. Now what happens is, like, let's say you get an image that's not so great quality, so like cool or whatever, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's say you get an image, let's say you get an image like this where it's only 215 by 185 pixels, and you take it and you put it in there. When you do that, it'll just be very blurry and pixely or whatever, and it's no good. So that's because this is going over a certain amount of time, and the resolution is only set to be for 219 or whatever. 215 by 185. So that means the smaller you make it, the more clear it becomes from afar. Basically, like when you zoom in, that's pretty crap, but from afar it looks pretty good. So that's kind of a little basic tip. What's this canvas size? So let's say you want a 1920 by 1080. 1080. Let's just get rid of this whole thing, and we'll start from scratch. We'll drag and drop this, which is our thing. And so right now it looks like, I mean, you can upscale some things and it won't look too bad because you won't notice it. But if you upscale it like this, obviously you're gonna see some things wrong with it. But like this is no big deal, so you don't have to worry about like that. I mean, I just wouldn't recommend going and doing this because, well, I mean, you could for something like this, but for any other picture, it might look bad if you try to resize it. Anyway, so let's say you got your picture in here, and you want to edit it, or you want to add some sort of texture to make it look cool. So this is a trick that I use kind of often. You just look up a texture that you want, texture background, fabric or something, and you do HD because you want it to be the same resolution or whatever. If you're doing a lower image size, like let's say you're doing 400 by 268, and this one would be perfect for you because it's exactly what you want. But we're not doing that, and it's good to be over. So you can get one like this to add your texture on, but it's kind of better if you get something over. So like that's a great size for what I'm doing. So I'll show you different things. So let's say you take that, you put it in here, size it up a bit. Oh, and that's another thing. You don't want to just click and do this, because I if you're following along in this video, I'm so sorry if I anyways, what you want to do is you want to hit shift and you want to drag it like that. That way it doesn't ruin the proportion. Check it and you'll notice it's pretty good quality. Next you want to rasterize it. I don't know what it does. All I know is it was a problem and I figured it out, and now whenever I rasterize things happen to be better and you can do more stuff. So yeah, so I just make it a habit to do that to every layer. I'm sure it has a reason being there, but for now I just really don't care. I do it, it works, makes me happy. So anyways, we'll move on. You can do different things to it. So what's cool is you can actually layer it, but you can layer it in a certain format, if that makes sense. So let's say you select this top layer. We'll name it top layer, and we'll name this bottom layer. You select the top layer and you can actually have different things happen to it. So you can dissolve it, or you can darken it, multiply. That actually looks pretty cool. You can color burn, darker color. Screen is most typical because it's kind of what people want. I mean, that looks pretty good. You can do different things about it. Photoshop is really a tool designed for customization and user preference. So like if you like something like this, then you keep it like that. If you like something a little more darker, that might do. If you're doing something like a comic, I don't know. There's different uses for different things. This is just a basic tutorial going over what Photoshop can do. I'm not specifically telling you to do it anyway. Like, I mean, you can be creative in whatever way you want to be, but this is just how to do it. So that's editing photos. That's like the fourth step. And next is actually very interesting. Next is like my way of how I create some of my artwork. So I like to draw every now and then on here, but only if I have like a reference-ish. So my way to draw is actually using the pen tool, because like I said, it's my favorite tool and it's just very cool to use. So let's say you want to make like a cartoon of like a sled. Yeah, a sled, and then to make a line through that path, you have to stroke it, so you can use a brush. And you'll notice that it didn't really do much because this color has to be a different color than your background. So you just click on it, you change it to whatever you want, okay, do the same thing, stroke. See, and then that's your sled. And you can do different things with it. You can have like a stick person riding. So I mean, obviously you can get more into detail. I'll show you some examples of things that I've done. I've done my profile picture. This is all me. Used to be something like that. I basically took this image and I put it behind this, and also making it a little bit darker, which is another thing you could do. I forgot about it. I'll use my actually profile picture as an example. Put this in here. Yes, it's just behind that layer. Don't worry about it. Rasterize it because rasterizing is awesome. And filter, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Filters are actually great. Filters could do a lot. Lens correction, let's just go over it. It's probably most common. If you go to custom, you can do different things. You can add a vinaigrette sort of feel, make it darker, make it lighter, kind of change the midpoint of where it is, remove distortion or whatever. I don't know, you can do a whole bunch of stuff really, like so that's giving it more of like a perspective, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, there's different filters. You just go over it, you do whatever you want. Liquify, obviously kind of doing this, I don't know if that makes it more liquid like. I don't really like it, but if you like it, then that's fine. You do blur, which is pretty cool. It's kind of what I did with my profile picture. If you look, it's a little bit blurrier than the crisp photo from before. So text, you can add like channel name or whatever. This is like a whole bunch of stuff. Like if you press on this, which kind of looks like a folder, it'll give you different options for the fonts. You can change the size from up and down, and also from side to side, or more spaced out. So let's say you want something like that. That's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you can do different things like that. Channel name, like, I mean, having like a big C, I don't know. You just kind of gotta experiment and do what you do. You can have them all boldish, italicized, capital. Actually, that doesn't look that bad. Yeah. So, I mean, you can do different things. You can actually add the text as like an overlay, so you can make it like dissolve. You can make it show up like on the photo. Yeah, so like overlay. Oh, and I lied to you before. Overlay is actually the one instead of screen. Overlay is the one that's most commonly used. So another lie from me. I'm sorry. Anyways, you can underline it. Underlining isn't actually that good in Photoshop, I have to admit. So if I were doing something like underlining in Photoshop, I would actually manually do it, just because. So there we go. Nice crisp underline. I don't know. Yeah, that looks great. Perfect. 10 out of 10. So yeah, there's really different things that you can do with Photoshop. It's all up to you. It's creativity. I don't know what else to say. Like, you can do filters. Oh yeah. You can add hues, so like you can change the different hues of photos and stuff, which is kind of cool. Color balance, there's a whole bunch of stuff over here. Black and white, obviously. Photo filter, so you make it like sepia if you wanted, or like a different color. I guess not. You can do like a these ones. You can make it brighter or lighter, darker. I meant, sorry. You can add more contrast, so you can make it pop out a little more. Change the levels by moving this and giving it more of like a volcanic feel, I guess. I don't know. Curves are actually probably one of the most used in this section when it comes to like editing like a photo. I mean, you can change it from being very dramatic to like very open at like once. I don't know. Some people prefer different things. It's kind of cool and neat when you take a look and you really get into like what you want to do. See, that's kind of like a cool thing. So to end this video, I just want to make a little thumbnail so that you guys like it. So this is what I would do if I were making like a thumbnail or something. So first of all, I'd go up and I'd check what the sizes are. So we'll check thumbnail size for YouTube. Images, let's check it out. It seems to be 1280 by 720, so we'll look up, go to new, 1280 by 720. Great, so we got a new photo. I like to add like a blue theme because that's my sort of brand. That's what my image is. And then for my update videos, I'll do like a red tinge because it contrasts really well. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do something that represents like Photoshop. See if we can find any references. Oh, that looks kind of cool. So somehow we should probably incorporate the logo into it. So now we have our Photoshop thing. I'm just gonna resize it, make it look a little bit better. There we go, that's probably good. Then I'm just gonna select it. That's pretty bad select. There we go. Another cool thing is you can select the inverse of a selection. So, oh yeah, I need to rasterize it. There we go. So I just selected all the white part and got rid of it. Now I can move it around. So I want it to be like a theme of blue because, well, Photoshop of course is blue, and also my channel's theme, if you look up, or you're probably already on, is a nice bluish greenish sort of feel, except for the red for the updates because that's contrasting like I said. So we'll do something with maybe a gradient. So this is how I would go about doing something. That actually looks not too bad, but I wanted, anyways, let's make another layer. Add to the background. Now, something I consider when I'm making a Photoshop, or when I'm making a thumbnail, is the simplicity. I want something that attracts people. So if you were to look on YouTube and see this, you might be like, oh, it's just another crappy Photoshop tutorial. Well, I'm not going to click on it. So what I do is I add some photos, I guess. Background, HD. So for example, I took for my intro, if I go and look, you know, it's probably right here. I don't have to look on there because that gives me views and I don't like doing that. So my intro has this photo in it, which is kind of really cool. I really like this image. And when I put my name on it, oh damn, it's so good. Anyways, I like to make my thumbnails very interesting because if it's not interesting, then nobody clicks on it, and sad me because I don't get views, and I'll never make my YouTube career good. But anyways, so what I like to do is I like to look up royalty free images for images that I use where I actually like need to have like, I mean, like if you're using a Photoshop logo, of course it's a Photoshop logo. It doesn't really matter where you get it from. Like you're just kind of, I guess, promoting them. So it doesn't really matter if you use any photo of the logo. I mean, as long as it's updated, I don't think they really care. I don't really know the rules or like the laws behind it, but I'm pretty sure like you can't just go on Google and do something and then put it on my YouTube channel and be like, hey, that's my own work. I mean, it is because I edited it, but like I like to use royalty-free images because they're just, you have the right to use them, I think. Pretty sure. I hope. God, I hope. Anyways, so what I like to do is I have like this nature theme going on. So, oh hey, that's really cool. I do something like that. So I only really need like this size, but I'll just go ahead and make the resolution even better. Oh. So now I've got my water photo in here. Looks kind of dope. So now we need like a text. So we'll go ahead and say basic, can't spell, Photoshop. Oh my god. Basic Photoshop for beginners. I forget what I named this. Basic Photoshop skills for beginners. There we go. So when editing text, sometimes it'll be weird like this. You just have to kind of select a layer or a row and go up here. This is your tool that moves it up and down. So something like that. But I like where Photoshop, basic Photoshop is. So maybe I'll just make these two separate. So I'll copy and paste that, get rid of it. Click the check mark up here and then copy and paste it. Okay. There we go. So another thing to look for when you're creating a thumbnail is color and like things that kind of pop out. So I would make that bigger because that's Photoshop and that's what I'm doing. I also kind of want to make it like a different color because something that follows my theme. Actually, why don't we just use that straight up? There we go. Basic Photoshop. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I want to add a certain thing to this because I think that might look cool. So another cool thing you can do is you can actually add like different things to the text. So you can bevel it, contour, I don't know, texture, different things. You can add a stroke, which is kind of cool, an inner shadow, inner glow, Satan. So this is kind of what everything looks like. Color overlay, gradient, which is kind of like the other thing, pattern overlay. This is something I've been doing for a lot of my videos. Outer glow and a drop shadow. And that's also another thing that I've been doing for my videos, just to make things pop out more. And the cool thing is that you can also do a lot of this stuff with photos too. So you can do it with photos as well as text. So that's cool. I might go ahead and make stroke just because it's kind of hard to see. Something that contrasts, so that looks pretty nice. I might go ahead and make Photoshop have a white one. Or a gray one, I should say. We'll have this be like the normal text, so we'll have it having like a black and then this is same thing, but we want it to have that sort of pattern overlay. Wait, no, sorry, I was thinking about the Photoshop one when I said that. There we go, so that looks kind of cool and neat. And that can be like our thumbnail. Maybe we should make it a little bit better. Why don't we? That looks kind of neat because it kind of cancels out whatever's behind it. So that's what my thumbnail looks like. In order to take it out of Photoshop, you need to go up here, save as, change it to a PNG, or you can change it to a JPEG, whatever you prefer. I do PNG because it's simpler and you can actually do transparent things with it. So then you change it, you name it whatever you want for your thumbnail. I already saved it, but anyways, it'll save it, and then you can just save it again as that. Get rid of that because we don't need it anymore. And then, ta-da, you have a thumbnail for YouTube. So that's sort of some things I picked up in Photoshop that help me make thumbnails and help me make it look good. Like I said, I have like this blue theme going on, so hopefully that is cool. I hope you like this tutorial. Kind of gives you some basic knowledge of Photoshop, what it can do. And if I have any advice for you guys, it's just to take a look at some YouTube videos, find out some tutorials in Photoshop that relate to what you want to do with it. So let's say you're making a Minecraft channel and you want to make like a profile picture or something like that. Go look up how to make a profile picture. I've made a video like that, and if you want to do edits to that photo, Photoshop is a great tool for that. So you can look up different things you can do with Photoshop. This is a less specific video, but there are more specific tasks you can do with Photoshop. I mean, just like be creative with what you want to do. I mean, I had no idea I was doing a thumbnail at the beginning of this video, but I kind of came up with it halfway through. But I hope you liked this video. It's kind of something I picked up from Photoshop, and I wanted to do like a video like this every Thursday-ish, because I want to be able to do a video on Thursday and a video on Monday. So I'm thinking commentaries on Monday definitely, and then Thursdays can either be like a video on gameplay footage, or it can be a video on Photoshop or something like that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you learned something, then leave a like, subscribe, comment what you learned. Tell me about it. I definitely want to hear from you guys. I think that's all I have to say. So I guess Palioxis out.